Hi there, this is Drew Green and I'm here today to show you how to use the brushes contained within the Drew Green's Cartooning Brushes January 2015 edition brush pack. Those are on sale at gumroad.com/drewgreen, as you can see pictured on the screen. These brushes are compatible with Adobe Photoshop CS6, and I think they should work with at least CS4 and CS5 and anything above CS6. I am not sure about previous versions, however. So let's get started. The first brush in the pack on the very top here is called the ink pen, and it's kind of my catch-all brush that I use for everything. I sketch with it, I ink with it. It's a very hard round brush that has no real pressure sensitivity, so it's got that very simple cartoony look, almost like you might see in sort of Japanese mascot characters and stuff. Yeah, and I use it for a lot of things, including this really terrible picture of a bear. So yeah, that's the first main brush. The brush after that is the rough pen, which is similar to the ink pen, but it just has a rough texture to it. I like to use this in my painted style commissions and my background artwork and things that are more painterly. It's just got more texture to it, and it's nice and a little more natural looking. It's really cool if you lower the flow, because then you can have, more of a pencily look to it as well. Same goes for the following brush after that, which is the rough pen with pressure. Just the same as that previous brush, but now it just has more pressure sensitivity to it. I don't use that one as often, but it's good for small details. The following brush is the gouache brush. I have put tutorials online about this brush for years, and it seems to be pretty popular, but some people have had trouble kind of making it themselves. So now you can just have the brush if you buy the set. It's very, or buy the brush pack. It's very handy, and I use it for especially my background painting. So yeah, I really enjoy this one. I've been using it for years. The following one after that is called the big gouache brush, and it's the same as the previous gouache brush, but the texture has been made bigger. And I actually like to use this one in pencil mode, so that it's really hard-edged and just really, grainy and gritty and just all around cool. I like to mask out areas and then use it to add kind of a nice hard texture to a shape or something like that, kind of like that. So yeah, that's a really good one. Going back into brush mode, the following brush is the airbrush, and this is a pretty simple airbrush. It's just kind of set to the settings that I enjoy, and I like to use that to make objects kind of glow a lot of the time, but there are plenty of really good applications for it. The following brush after that is the textured airbrush. Similar to the previous airbrush, but it has a little less pressure sensitivity, and it's also got a grain texture to it. I don't use it very often, but I thought it was cool, and I thought some people would get a good use out of it. After that, we have the big sponge, and it's just this big kind of spongy brush, and if you lower the flow of that, you can get some really interesting results. And also, if you just kind of tap, you can add sort of a grain texture to things, so that's really handy. Good for adding texture when you're doing background paintings, kind of adding a little splatter to the image. Put the flow back at 100. The next brush after that is it's just my big paintbrush. This is really handy for when I just want to loosen up and I don't want to be too precious with my shading or my coloring. I don't use it a lot unless I'm just doing like concept painting and backgrounds and stuff. It's cool to lower the flow to about 15 or so because it's even rougher. And if you go really low, like 2, you can even get a kind of a chalky line. So that one's really nice. After that, we have the textured paintbrush, which is one I almost never use, but I thought I would include it because it's a cool way to add texture, and I think some people will use it much better than I do. And it's very pressure sensitive, so that's handy. The next brush is called Sparks and Spikes, although it's really more like an explosion, and if you just take it, press down, and draw a small circle, you'll get these kind of cool, explosive looking bursts. If you draw a straight line, it kind of looks like that. So yeah, it's really neat. Not one I use much, but it's kind of a novelty brush, and just kind of happened one day. After that, we have the ink. It's the ink pen with pressure. It's just the same as my other ink pen, the main ink pen at the top, but it's just got some pressure sensitivity. It just depends on how you like to cartoon, I guess. Have this really horrible looking creature. Let's see, after that we have the one that I call the Lazy Lotus brush, which, another novelty brush. I use it for my comic a lot, and for illustrations related to it. Just tap down and you'll get a different size lotus. Yeah, just, I use it when I'm feeling lazy and don't feel like drawing a bunch of individual lotus shapes. And finally, this last one is just a simple pressure sensitive, small, thin, hard round brush. I use it, it's called the rough boarding brush because I use it when I'm doing kind of rough sketches sometimes. It's really just a very small version of the textured ink pen. But I thought I would include it because I get a lot of use out of it. So, yeah, little monkey dude. And yeah, that is all 14 of the brushes in this pack. I use them for cartooning every single day, and I hope that you're able to get a lot of good use out of them too. You can find my work at drew-green.tumblr.com, and remember, this brush set is on sale at gumroad.com/drewgreen. Thanks for watching.